Thank you for stopping by. Be sure to smash the like button. Look through my playlist for a lot more interesting content. If you're watching this as a playback, thank you for doing so. So for those that are watching me for the first time, this is story time. Story time is basically part of my segment called Say It Like It Is, where people send me their stories to my email address. You can find that in the description below, foodchannel1960@gmail.com. If they resonate with me, we can learn something from it. I'll bring it out. And of course, I'll make you anonymous. And if it's a trending topic, I can react to it and stuff. So this is a story from one of the subscribers, all right? What's going on, man? What's going on, Mo? Hey. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. We're almost done with the first month in 2022. We're almost done. Ingrid. Smash the like button. Williams. Smash that like button. Share you for me. What's up? Right. So there's about 54 of you watching me, 57 now. Smash that like button. Smash that like button. Give us that like button so that we gain traction. Alrighty. Boss Teams, Emmanuel. So I got the story here on my laptop. It's from a gentleman, one of the people that watch my channel. So he wants me to talk about his story, huh? I like this one because it's not really like the very lengthy ones. There's nothing wrong with that, because when I read the very long stories, I then have to compress them in my head, flesh out the meaty part of it, and I go straight to the point, all right? So yeah, anyway, let's hit the road on this one. Says, good day, Phrankleen. I'm a subscriber to your YouTube channel. I really do appreciate your effort and intelligence for bringing out the informative and educational content. I have really learned a lot from your contents. Please keep it up. Thank you. I want to share my experience with you and seek for others' opinion, particularly people that have had similar experience. Here's my story. If you're joining us just now, smash that like button, smash that like button, smash the like button. So, brother says, I have been in Europe for more than a decade. I got married to my wife in 2012. Now we have 3 kids together. Said, I met my wife in Europe and we agreed to build a family together. Great, right? So before we met and eventually became husband and wife, she had started a 4-apartment building project in Nigeria. So after our marriage, I asked her about the building project, and she said it's under the care of her elder brother back home. I demanded for the pictures and the documents of the property to know the level of work done, but she talked back and forth and said she trusts her brother, and she asked me to provide the money that would be sufficient enough to complete the building project under the care of her brother. Interesting, isn't it? I refused the idea because I can't put my hard-earned money into a project that's not transparent to me. Fair enough. Since then, my wife's developed some kind of hatred towards me. Hatred is a big word, but that's in the email. A bit of resentment, I understand. Then I put my resources together and I started building started my own building project in Lagos, Nigeria. As the years went by, she struggled to complete the project under the care of her brother. Now I'm asking her to disclose to me how the building project is managed. She refused because of the fear of her brother, and this is the only property she has been able to acquire after more than a decade abroad, working under the cold and terrible, harsh conditions of the West. After I carried out personal investigation concerning the building project, I discovered that the brother had indirectly claimed the property, saying that my wife started the building project before we got married. Therefore, the building belongs to their family. Did you hear that? And my wife is so scared of her brother to the point that she can't even challenge him. The situation has become really complex for me to handle, considering the fact that my wife is not giving me the power so we can collectively work out a strategy to claim back the property. Please, I need your opinion and the opinion of other viewers that have had similar experience. Thank you. So I'm going to do something very quickly before we start to unpack this. Because of people that have just joined us, all right, given the fact that we're doing this live. So I'm going to read through this story one more time, but very quickly this time around. So let's go. Said, I have been in Europe for more than a decade. I got married to my wife in 2012. Now we have 3 children together. I met my wife in Europe and we agreed to build a family together. Before we met and eventually became husband and wife, she had started a 4-apartment building project in Nigeria. So after our marriage, I asked her about the building project. She said it's under the care of her elder brother. I demanded for the pictures and the documents of the property to know the level of work done, but she kept talking back and forth and said she trusts her brother, and she asked me to provide the money that will be sufficient enough to complete the building project under the care of a brother. I refused the idea because I can't put my hard-earned money into a project that is not transparent to me. Since then, my wife started developing some kind of hatred towards me. Then I put my resources together. I started my building project in Lagos, Nigeria. As years went by, she struggled to complete the project under the care of her brother. Now I'm asking her to disclose to me how the building project is managed. She refused because of the fear of her brother. She refused to disclose to her husband because of the fear of her older brother, right? And this is the only property she has been able to acquire after more than a decade working under the cold and terrible harsh conditions of the West. After I carried out personal investigation concerning the building project, I discovered that the brother has indirectly claimed the property, saying that my wife started the building project before we got married. Therefore, the property belongs to their family, and my wife is so scared of her brother to the point that she can't even challenge him. The situation is becoming complex for me to handle, considering the fact that my wife is not giving me the power so that we can collectively work out a strategy to claim back the property. Please, I need your opinion and the opinion of other viewers that may have had similar experience. Thank you. That's the story. So, let's talk about it. Family palaver, okay? So, this is what For those who have been watching me for a minute, I've said this a million and one times. We're not going to stop talking about these things, because if we can manage to emancipate at least one person, I think I would have done an amazing job by using my voice and my platform positively. All right. So this woman committed a building project into the hands of her brother, who she's unable to pick up on the grounds of accountability. She prioritizes a loyalty towards the clearly dodgy brother over a husband that she claims to love, right? And this is the sentiment and mental conditioning that affects a lot of folks in our Black community. So when you see me on here, that I'm quite assertive about my points, my position, and I say, you got to learn to say no. You've got to learn to be firm. Sometimes you have to be brutal in your own best interest, you know. But a lot of us, because where we came from. A lot of people, regardless of being adults at this point in their lives, a lot of people's mindset and thought process have been absolutely destroyed because of how they were raised, because of how they've been mentally conditioned. You know, imagine that woman was expecting her husband to throw in his own hard-earned money into a project that her older brother is handling, and you at the same time, what runs concurrently with that is you're refusing to disclose the progress of the building project to your husband, right? You're in a sense shielding your brother, even though you're aware that your older brother is taking, you know, unfair advantage of you, which is monetary advantage, right? But you would expect your husband to foolishly invest or commit his hard-earned money into said project. So when the man said no, you have the audacity to develop, resentment towards your own husband. So your husband was clever enough that I'm not going to put money into these dead end type of project where I can't even see, there's no transparency, I can't see what's going on with it. He started his own project, right? And this woman has the audacity to have resentment towards her husband. Again, this is what I've been saying. Families are the worst. Very few people are blessed, are in fact lucky to say, oh, I've got that sibling, I've got that relative that I can genuinely count on. All right. This is what I have been talking about. It's absolutely absurd. It's the height of foolishness that you would work hard. It beggars belief, but you'll be amazed how much of these cases we have in the Black community. You work hard, even if you're not living abroad, you work so hard, you earn money, and then you put it in the hands of someone, a family member, in the name of bias or in the name of, or is it sentiments, let me say. And they are bold as brass to have a blatant disregard for accountability, and they take advantage of you, they siphon your funds, and you're terrified. I can't get my head around it. You're too scared to challenge your brother. You're too scared to even cut your losses. So you sat on, I mean, my own opinion, a married woman should submit unto her husband. I'm not even, you have a point there, but I'm going to present it in a different format. Glad I found your channel, Phrankleen. Having same issues. Maternal grandma put my dad's land title in her brother's name. Now they're asking me to send money and will put it in my name when I come. Absolute lies. My own opinion, husband is the only one with sense. These things happen a lot, man. That property, look, a family that have the audacity. They've used the brother as the one to snatch that project. And I suspect perhaps the documentation is also sitting with the brother. And in the name of my brother, my family, you watch them take your sweat, you watch them steal your asset. The husband and wife should have talked about all of this mess before marriage, before getting mixed up with this mess. Oh, Curly, you have a point, but it's in our society, I'll respond to that. In our society, as much as I don't want to make a blanket statement, it's sad that a lot of folks in Africa are deprived of critical thinking. You understand? A lot of us, especially us Africans that grew up back home, you are, when you're growing through your formative years, you're deprived of critical thinking. What do I mean by that? That's the ability to be able to think critically, to be able to challenge a thought process, to be able to ask logical questions or establish logical conversations, the ability to be able to challenge people's decisions that affect you, the ability to be able to say no, the ability to be able to defend your own boundaries. So it doesn't matter if there's an uncle who is your mother's younger brother, right? You're able to say, nope, please stop doing X, Y, Z. I do not appreciate this because you're an adult now. But we come from a lot of us come from backgrounds where there were toxic culture, whereby from childhood, particularly when you're growing through your formative years, they shout you down and then they throw religiosity in the mix. So if you find a few young people who are like rebels and saying no and all that, they drag the pastor into the picture. You have a bunch of elders trying to make sure that clamp down your thought process. They bend you over and say, oh, you're being rude. Oh, this is how it's done. You don't ask questions, you don't challenge, you keep your head down, you do as you're told. It's a culture where you can be abroad and you're working in the snow, in the rain, in the very harsh Western system. You're churning money out, back home, and a sibling has blatantly stolen from you, or your mom, and you have other older people in the society will say to you, be quiet. Oh, no, 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 it's unheard of. You can't say your mom's a thief. Oh, no, 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 no. You can't say that. Why? Why? She has just stolen from me. You're not allowed to say that. Who 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 is this person in charge of my fundamental human rights that's saying I can't say this or I can't say that? Do you understand? And people, and then there is all these hand-picked parts of this religious texts, like from the Bible and stuff. Oh, if you say this and this and this to your parent, you must not, disrespect or provoke, this and this and this. Oh, if this is going to happen to you, they use those things to instill fear. Fear is the weapon to control your mind. So when you grow older, you are, because that's all that you do the same thing to your children, and your children will do the same thing to their own children. And this is the reason why you'll find a fully grown adult who, they might have all the university degrees in the world, all the master's degree in the world. They will foolishly and sheepishly commit funds and make ridiculous decisions around their finance. I'm trying to build a house, and oh yeah, because it's my mom, let me commit it into my mom's. Even to make it worse, a lot of these people, you already have a history with your mom. You know your mom is bad with finance. Your mom has probably done the same to one of your siblings. You still carry on and do the same thing. It's just absurd. I visited Nigeria 4 times within the past 2 years, and things are upside down, but I still love the country. Any uncle can kiss my backside. No one pays my bill. The ability to be objective should always override all the respect nonsense. Yes, the ability to be objective. I love that line. It's exactly what I'm talking about. Critical thinking. The ability to be objective is non-existent in a lot of people in our society. That's exactly what I'm banging on about. Fam got me good. Now, no matter the cry, it's no looking dead in the eye. Then I continued happily with my day I already paid in advance. Agree. When do you know how your family deals with finance or emotional blackmail? You grew up with them. You know your family more than anyone else. You would have known. Another aspect is that in the US, the system incentivizes women to destroy themselves and their families. It goes way deeper than we'd like to think. Thank you for the super chat, Eric. Thank you, bro. Got to learn to be cold turkey. You see, the adult mind is the complexity that we're dealing with, right? I get tons of emails from people that say, Franklin, I agree with your submissions. I agree with this particular video. Oh, this thing that you said, oh, it's like you've heard my life story. Do you know that there are plenty, some of you are watching me right now, there are plenty of adults in their 30s, some in their 40s, some in their mid 40s, some even in their 50s, as grown as they are, covered in gray, they can't look at their mom and dad or siblings, older siblings, and say, nope, please stop. This is my life. This is my decision. Because why? They are encapsulated by fear. It didn't start from the age of 40 or from the age of 50. It's been deeply rooted, ingrained in them from childhood, from their formative years. So these are some of the entrapments. Academically, you might see them with PhDs and master's degree, but when it comes to critical thinking, they're absolutely dead in the waters, man. Trust me. So like with this lady now, I think it's safe to say that that property is gone. Imagine, in my opinion, the guy should look away. There is an uphill for the wife to climb as far as that project is concerned. Then go show her crazy. Yeah. To be honest, if you stand a chance of recovering such property, you need to find a good lawyer. You're going to spend a bit of money. You need to find a good lawyer. You know, the type of lawyers are like a dog with a bone, the ones that can get their jaws into a situation and clamp their teeth around the matters. Those ones that wouldn't compromise. If you get that kind of lawyers, they'll look at the intricacies, they'll look at the web of complexity, and they will rip it apart. They're the ones that can go guns blazing. Because if you go in yourself to confront them, in the worst case scenario, they might get her killed. This is why I keep preaching, I keep telling people, man, I can't get my head around it. At some point, you have terrible experiences with these families. I've been there too, man. You know, as you grow older through the years, you've committed X, Y, Z into people's hands, and they burn you, they let you down. The question is, why do some of you keep going back? You know that your mom has zero building skills, zero project management skills. She couldn't mix a bag of cement and water to save her life. And I don't mean that in a bad way. She couldn't even successfully run the required amount of water mixed with sharp sand and a bag of cement. But yet you commit a whole building project into her hands. Some of you even know, deep down inside, you know your dad is a shifty bastard. You know he's a dubious human being. There are people that your dad has played dirty games with when it comes to finance. When he borrows money, he never returns it. He's very dubious. He will take money from this. He's a pathological liar. And then because you're in the US, you're in the UK, Dad, can you manage the building project for me, man? Or let's say you don't even have that history with them. Why? This is why so many people get absolutely destroyed. There was a gentleman that sent me an email the other day that said he was in the US for some years. Understandably so, he had immigration complexities to deal with. So which meant he had to be in the US for nearly a decade. He couldn't travel. He was living in the shadow of the system. So in that time, he had, 3 odd jobs. He worked lengthy hours, and life was really rough. And he tried, sent money home. Can you help me buy a parcel of land? Can you help me start doing this? A lot of people do this in the diaspora and community with the mind that should things go bananas, at least I'll have something to fall back on when I get back to the motherland, which is a very good way of thinking. So this guy was sending money back home. The long and short was, eventually along the line, his green card came out and then he went home. His dad, in conjunction with 2 other siblings, had basically connived, and they blew through all of his money, millions of naira, which is equivalent of thousands of dollars that this guy had sent. All the pictures that he had, all the land documents were in fact fake. All the land documents that he held onto whilst in the States, they sent it to him via DHL, right? There were fraudulent instruments generated by his father and 2 siblings. So, everything went ballistic, absolutely crazy, understandably so. And then you had some self-appointed, family elders. It was like, take it easy, let it slide. It's your father, it's your father. It's not done in our society that you jail your own father. They were basically pacifying this gentleman, telling him, let it slide. About to slide me, let it slide. No chance. That's the point where my horns would grow bigger. I would tear everybody involved. I would tear them to shreds. I naturally, by default setting, I despise injustice. I hate cheating. And this is one of the things that really, really pisses me off. You are this useless, self-appointed elders within the Black communities that would tell you, let it slide. It's wickedness. That's one of the reasons why it's very hard. Who's that? Willie Bravo. Your own parents will walk you into the woodshed. Goddamn right, Willie. Yeah. It's very hard for a lot of Black folks to build together. Think about it, man. We really don't have that culture of building together. Very few amongst us, they do try, they make fantastic, but that's why we can't, because the dubiousness, man. Let's start with families. Of course, granted, there are things that this woman could have done, going back to the story with these projects, that perhaps she could have done properly and all that, in terms of how she handled the project, she trusted her brother and all that stuff. But let's say, for argument's sake, okay, she committed the project into his hands. Yeah, Troy, emotional blackmail and self-entitlement, typical, of course. There are a lot of our family members, they are interested in what they want to eat here and now. Here and now. The wife was sending money, the brother spends it on himself. The building project is not making any progress. Husband, don't get involved. Yeah, of course. But you see, it's very easy to say husband, don't get involved. When you are in a marriage, in a relationship with someone, you are monetarily invested in them, emotionally bonded with them. So if your wife or your husband is doing something, they're throwing hard-earned money at something, it's understandable that you be concerned. And if you're looking out for them, it's not unusual. In fact, if you turn a blind eye, that's a very selfish behavior. But of course, in certain situations, you might have to take a back seat if they get too defensive and all that stuff. If you're willing to lose your investments, put it in the hands of family or loved ones. I stay far away from them when it comes to my investment. We lost the work, came together for the good of all. Let it slide. They will all slide into court. The Bible requires you to forgive your neighbor, otherwise the Lord will not forgive you. I think you're trolling, yeah? I'm going to put you on timeout for a few minutes. Okay? The next time you come trolling, it will get you blocked. The Bible says. And this is exactly what's wrong with some of you black folks, man. The Bible says. This is why you're proving my point. Lack of critical thinking. How can he, can you imagine? Phrankleen, how can he get involved when his wife won't let him? Thunder, I agree. I agree. You know. No. It's not the misquotation of the Bible. That's classic black folks for you. People that can't do logical reasoning. So even in other types of conversation, black folks, we are the gold medalists in this type of behavior. That when you're having conversation with them, and maybe due to limited vocabulary or just the inability to be able to decipher and make proper submissions, they are very quick to take a sharp left and turn to religiosity. I hear things like, it is well. You know, someone's child has just gotten involved in a car crash. You're sat there, it is well. What's well about the situation? That would make me throw you out of the room. You know, it is well. Bible called Bibelini. I expect you to treat Ogundele's bees. You will never let me down. Yeah, this is the problem. And another thing is, in the black community, this religiosity is severely weaponized, man. You see people come out of the woodworks and start to tell you, the Bible says in the book of Ephesians, blah, 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 blah. They basically are selling you this deadly and poisonous narrative just to clamp down your thought process and get you to behave in a certain way. Do you get what I'm saying? I was watching one of these these family courts on YouTube channel where people go before like a judge. It's almost like a reality show, but they are genuine court settings, yeah. And these guy, a 32-year-old young man, he took his mother. Did you hear what I said? He took her to court because why? He lent her money. Like he has a good job. He works in the financial sector. So, mommy, I love my mom. And then he lent her about 9,000 US dollars to sort some things out. And she promised she was going to pay back. He lives in a different state. So they communicate via WhatsApp. They've got several voice notes. So it got to a point, the mother just said, I'm not going to pay you back, blah, blah. And the dude said, nope. I went into my savings, to give you this money. You said you were going to. So she was trying to play the entitlement, thingy. Oh, I'm your mom. I have the right, blah, blah, blah. He took her to court. And the judge ruled in his favor, plus some extra monies and all that. He ended up walking out of that court with a judgment that the woman should pay him roughly 15,000 US dollars. If she doesn't pay, it's going to get worse for her. That's right. And they both, at the end of the show, the guy was here, the mother was here, and it was like, I'm happy about the outcome. I gave my mom enough chance for more than 2 years, and she's basically, shown me that she's a dubious person. And then when they interviewed the woman, what have you got to say? She was like, oh, well, I can assure you that the relationship is absolutely dead. And the guy mentioned at the back, I don't care. Give me my 15,000 US dollars. You goddamn right. If you have a mother that will orchestrate a way to swindle you as a son or daughter, that's not a mother. That's just a channel that the universe has made for you to come into human existence. That's not a mother. That's not somebody you can bond with. How are they any different from any random person swindling you? He did the right thing by taking her to court. How disgusted. But you see, the reason I told you that little story is in our community, in our society, they will tell you, oh, it's an abomination. No, it's not. No, it's not. There was another one, I'll give you another snippet here, where a gentleman told me that at some point back home, he kept the sum of 4 million naira in his dad. I don't know what led him to the point to keep 4 million naira, yeah, with his dad. And it was a case of at some point, dad would transfer the money when he needs it or whatever, right? And he was like, dad, please, you know, from that 4 million, can I have 2 million? I want to pay for like a farmland somewhere. And dad just came out, bold as brass. Oh, that 4 million, oh, I spent it on a few things. It's all gone, you know. So what, wait, I thought, you know, yeah, I know I was meant to keep, but I used it. So that's that. So let's just stop talking about it. And the dude said, huh? What do you mean, let's stop talking about it? But you, and the dad, he admitted that, yeah, it's your money. But I'm telling you authoritatively that I have spent the money. And that led to a back and forth. So because the dad, a typical African parent, was not ready to back down or even acknowledge his own failings, so he unleashed this guy's two older brothers on him to inflict him with physical violence. So they beat him up. They beat him up severely. Imagine. They beat him up severely. So you know what this guy did? He planned with some people. He told me this. I laughed my head off. He said, I stole his 4x4 Highlander. I drove it to the next city. We smashed it into parts. I sold it. Smashed or maybe sold it to recover his money. He said, and that was the end. He's not spoken to his dad in about 3 years. You're a little crazy. Yeah. Yes, I've spent your 4 million naira. Yeah, that's that. So can we stop talking about it? You don't talk when I'm talking. You be quiet. Some of these people, they take the piss, man. And then you're standing there as an adult, and then you have somebody telling you, you know, on jail money, kò ní há wọn lọ́rùn, ikú ló máa pa yín, ifá ló máa, ogun ló máa fẹ́ jẹ yín wẹ̀, owó tí mo ṣiṣẹ́ fún, ikú máa pa gbogbo yín dànù. Man, it gets under my skin, man. Blatant daylight robbery. Blatant display of criminality. It's unfair. The only thing I can sell you as a package, the only advice I can give to you in that regard, protect your finance, learn to say no. What if the guy took a loan, that's to, oh yeah, yeah. It's nice that you say, what if the guy took a loan? I've heard the story of someone that said she took a loan in America to start a little fish pond business back home. The mother and someone, a member of the family, they stole the money, they spent it, and she lost her mind and was saying, I took a loan to start this business. You know what the mother said? But you have American passport. You're still alive, you're still young. Before you walk now, within a few months, you pay back the money. So what's wrong if I, as your mother, I allowed you to suck this breast? If I, as your mother, if I enjoyed the fruit of my daughter's labor? You see that mindset? It makes you really want to instantaneously deprive somebody of their access to oxygen. It's crazy, man. And then you hear all this bafolon, Lack of accountability, that's why we're here. Yes, you goddamn right. One of these statements that I hate the most, but for long. Magbeshulaye. What does that even mean? You know, yeah, what's done is done. You know, forget about it. Suck it up and keep it moving. You hear some of these parents, some of these family members, so what? They're cold-blooded, man. Tí òkété bá dàgbà, ọmọ ló mú liars lórí irọ́. Òkété ẹ̀ wo ló dàgbà lẹ́yìn kókété yẹn gan tẹ ọmú sílẹ̀ kémi gan mu ọmú. Òkété tó dàgbà kí n yọ straw kémi gan mu ọmú. You're crazy. The nerve, the sheer audacity, man. So yeah, on that first story, man, except you get like a good lawyer that can fight your corner, there is nothing you can do about it. Our property is gone. A lot of these families, they actually believe that if you're going to build a property or whatever, you should actually build for them first. One of the things that I want to talk about quickly that I can't get my head around is this idea of families hounding you and expecting you to basically cater for them when they, in fact, look at Frankleen's mouth. He knows how to momo kete very well. Who is that person, man? That's hilarious, man. What do you mean I know how to momo kete? Oh my God. Sister George, what does that mean? It means, so there's this saying, right, which is in Yoruba. So kete is like some kind of bush rat. So basically, it's like a proverbial saying that when a bush rat, grows old, it tends to survive on the breast milk of its own child, which will be a younger bush rat type of thing. You understand? So they use that African proverb to basically perpetrate evil. You understand? They use it to escape accountability. Phrankleen, that's part of the reason why politicians are given a free rein to defraud the country, because the parents will defraud their children and say it is fine. That's why I keep saying that the average Nigerian is a reflection of their appointed politicians. I've said this before. We glorify fraud. We glorify ill treatment. We glorify toxic behavior. We glorify toxic culture. We cement it with religiosity. I have contemplated that African society requires positive propaganda to get the minds of Black people on the same wavelength. Yeah, the positive propaganda, yes. But the change has to come from within. Do you understand? People have got to unlearn this nasty ass behavior. The idea that somebody else builds and work and you apply connivance and you snatch it from them and you leave them hanging. How can somebody build a property and then you say, oh yeah, because she built the property before she got married to Mr. X, oh, that means that property belongs to the family. Who the bloody hell made those rules? Who did? It's only the charlatans, the crooks, that come up with this crazy rules just to steal from other people. Wonder how much the wife has invested in the project so far. It would have been a lot of money. I think the man and wife should let go of the property and move forward. Retrieving the property is not worth it. I say, from my point of view, if you consult legal experts, if you find reliable ones, you can weigh your options, sit down with a lawyer, weigh your options. Is the property retrievable or not? Do we have any grounds based on this evidence? Lawyers will put on their thinking cap, and based on their legal prowess, they'll be able to advise you and say, yep, it might be a slight uphill battle, but they can go through certain doors that you can't go through by yourself. So yeah. There was a case of a guy that somebody told me recently that there's a guy that stole somebody's 2 acres of land. The guy lives in the UK. They've signed and sealed the fraud. They've transferred the paperwork to one of his older brothers. There was no way of getting back the 2 acres of land. So he went home on a particular December for Christmas break, and he was talking to the wife of a friend. They were socializing one evening, and the lady took interest. She took on the case pro bono, asked him certain questions, collected a truckload of evidence from him. She took on the case pro bono. Within less than 3 months, they transferred the ownership of the land back to the guy. That's right. The only thing I would say is, if you're going to fight back home, and this is not unique to Nigeria, you've got to come correct. So unfortunately, it's a very, corruption is prevalent, but you've got to come correct. You've got to be a fund in your back pocket, and you have the right people behind you, or you'll be able to claw back some things. But if you don't, that's why I believe in the sledgehammer approach. That's my nature. So somebody's doing me evil or about to do me evil. I'm not coming to you to have a diplomatic conversation. No, I'm coming to you, figuratively speaking. I'm coming with sledgehammer. I'm coming guns blazing. I'm coming with a grenade launcher. I'm going to smash you to smithereens. I'm going to come heavy. I'm going to bombard you. That's the way I'm wired. Some people will be like, oh yeah, let's have a conversation. Let's see how. Nah. There's no singing how. I will come at you with a sledgehammer. Destroy what you've got. I'm not gonna let go. I'm like a dog with a bone. I just despise injustice, especially if I've worked hard for something and somebody fleeces me. Me only bah. There's a guy, a charlatan that used to be on my channel under the guise of African spirituality. And we believe that person and has sold me a land in a particular place that's marked as government acquisition. I went after him with lawyer, right, with the CID, Department of Nigerian Police. I went after him. He got picked up. I have the documents. The police have his fingerprints. Bah. I went after the charlatan. He's so full of himself. In the public domain, he's feeding people with lies. I was in Nigeria last year, and that's the thing about me. I'm like a dog with a bone when it comes to injustice. I went after him. You can't take from my sweat. I won't let you go. I went after him. Sat down with lawyer. We laid everything out. The lawyer told me from day one we're going to get him. Yes, sir. And I got my money back. The ones that he has duped, a lot of them they're too afraid. They're too afraid. Some of them are scared that, something might happen to them spiritually. I'm spiritually fortified. Yeah. Nicely done. Got to the police station. Alaye to ba se normal. They're going to throw you inside the den right now. Right there and there, deposited money. Gave a date for the balance. He paid the money. I have the evidence. You understand me? Petition went to the CID unit, to the highest top in Abuja. The petition against this charlatan was approved. Boom. Came back down to Lagos. The police invited him. He didn't know what they were inviting him for. Got to the police station. They ring fenced him. Did you sell a land marked as government acquisition? That's land racketeering fraud. You understand me? The reason I'm telling you this is it's either fight or flight. People that want to scam you, people that would take from you, they don't care about your feelings. They don't care about the fact that you worked hard for that money. They think in their tiny little minds, they think they're cleverer than you. They think they're smarter than you. And if they take what belongs to you and you do nothing, it reinforces the fact that they see you like a mug. Fight for my right. Sometimes it might take long to get justice. That's me. Fight for your right, man. It's fight or flight. Those unscrupulous charlatans, they are dubious criminals. They don't care. In their minds, they think they are clever. People will steal from you. People will dupe you. Guess what? Especially in Africa, yeah? They will dupe you. They will be the loudest. They will then go on a smear campaign to try to destroy your image. In some cases, if they know that you haven't got much resources to fight back, they will get dodgy police officers to pick you up. They will bully you. They will batter you. They will get you to cave in. They will go into the public domain. They will damage your reputation just so they can get away with it. Can you share me on more? Emi atun ase, emi ayin ju ifa. Emi oye deji oma wudiya. They never born you. We die on that mountain. So apart from recovering my money, the mental message to that charlatan is, I don't care who you are. I will make an example of you. I will come after you. I would claw back what belongs to me. Oh, if there are 20 other people that allow you to get away with it, that's their cup of tea. Learn to stand up. And then sometimes when you're fighting, yeah, that's my wife, by the way. Akpiton V. That's my wife. She's on patrol. That's my lovely wife, Victoria. Mr. Phrankleen, I need a mentor like you. You always sound like a big brother I never had. Hey, Adiola, salute you, my brother, man. Ade on ground. I am the same. I'm going to get my money one way or another. People don't care how hard you've had to work or what you... You see, the reason I'm saying this, back home in Africa, they will steal from you. They will put death threat before you. They will tell you that, hey, I am going to kill you. You know why? For daring to speak up, for daring to ask for your hard-earned money that was stolen from you, what you worked for. They would, and if they get the chance, they will snuff you out like a candle in the wind. So there is this fear that's been spread across a lot of diasporans, right? That's, unfortunately, the fear has been absorbed by so many. So that's why when diasporans, they see diasporans back home, they see diasporans as soft touch. That thing angers me a lot. So a lot of diasporans, when they steal your homes, they steal your land, they steal your hard-earned money, you come back to the West, you come back running. They look at you like a bitch. They see you like a bitch. Believe me. They laugh. It's to pop their champagne. They laugh. You steal my hard-earned money. I'm the type of guy, you steal my 100,000 naira, I'll come after you with 1 million. I will make an example of you. Oh, ni law. It might die, Loroni. Yeah. I'm the dude, I can spend $100 to chase a dollar. It's a matter of principle. It's not really about making profit in the process. I hate people that think they are clever, right, and try to treat you like an idiot. Especially parents, they refuse to plan in their time. They normally go for their children. Thief. They sell a Wakanda fantasy to diasporans once they bleed them dry, they show them the hell that they really awaited them back home. Absolutely, man. It's so sad. How can you be in the side of the world? You're grinding. You work so hard. You take all the crap, man. Phrankleen, you sound like you've been dealt with. I've had, a couple of experiences in my time. I'm not going to deny that. That's where you activate the core part of your brain. I'm a for sure, brother. I'll give it to you straight. You understand me, man? I have zero tolerance for BS. Family bow. Families are the worst, man. I know exactly what I'm talking about, man. It doesn't matter. Bring out your eyeball and give it to them. You give them the eyeball, they'll still steal your wallet and laugh at you. You understand? You hear things like, I've been in the UK for 13 years. I've been in the US, blah, 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 for 14 years, for 15 years. My family did this. You're crazy. Learn to say no because somebody is your mom. This is what I'm talking about, the deprivation of critical thinking. Because you look at your mother in the face and say, nope. Yes, I need $300, mom. I haven't got $300 to give you. I've got commitments right now. I'm not interested in explaining myself to you. I can only give you $100, or in fact, $80 at this point in time. Take it or leave it. Some of you are even too afraid. Your sibling steals from you. You're a grown up. You're trying to claw back your losses from your sibling. Your mom or your father interjects and asks you to will you keep quiet? When I'm talking, you don't talk. He's your brother. That's the end. Forget about it. Now we can call Boyingbo. The problem is they've conditioned you that you think you need them. They need your resources. They don't exactly respect you. They don't need you. They need your resources. That's why a lot of you know the WhatsApp messages, the Telegram messages, the Facebook, the Instagram messages, the phone call, the text messages. The moment they collect that money from you, the Forex, you realize they go quiet. It's like a crackhead that needs drug. The moment they get what they need, they disappear. They go line up, they do whatever they need to get into their stream. Once they need that thing again, they come back after you. Please give me something. That's how they are. They're like crackheads. A lot of them. Some African families don't even care if you're unjustly arrested or imprisoned in the West. They will still be telling you that being in jail in the West is more profitable than being in Africa. Absolutely, Michael. There was a woman that I bumped into in the high street last November. She told me, like the woman told me in confidence, she said, Phrankleen, as I speak to you, I haven't got papers. I'm surviving with the help of someone else's documents and all that stuff. She said, I tell my mom and dad back home that I'm working 2 jobs, like very tedious jobs. The owner of the document collects £400 from this woman on a monthly basis. 400, whatever she does, the owner of the identity doesn't care. She takes £400 on a monthly basis. So she may have worked and earned £1,700 after tax, 1,000. The owner of the documents would take out 400. She said sometimes 500. Boom. Right? And then she said, she calls her parents back home, that they're basically asking her, oh, we need 750,000 naira to do this. Yeah, your brother, blah, blah. Mom, I'm in the shadow of the system, as you know. The person that gives me the document, I'm giving them extra. And she said, my mom and dad don't want to know. They said, yeah, you're an adult. It's far better to be in that suffering than being in Africa. Did you hear what I said? They don't care. They will throw you to the wolves mentally, psychologically. They don't care. As long as they get that money coming out, that Forex. This woman was talking to me, and then at some point, she broke down in tears. She goes, I'm tired, Phrankleen. I barely sleep. The only time I get to sleep will be on Saturday and Sunday. And I can't even cook. I'm always in bed. I just sleep and sleep and sleep. Before you know, it's Monday morning. The cycle starts again. I could see that woman's face. She looks so drained and tired because she works long hours. They don't care. He said, even my dad is already giving me ultimatum that by January of 2023, I must start a building project back home. So I asked her, I said, building project for you or for who? She goes, no, for them. And similarly, like I've been saying, I could see in her eyes, like she's being bullied even from a distance away from them. So I said, so are you going to start the building project then? She couldn't say no. She's like, I don't know, Phrankleen. It's just, I don't even know what to do. Wow. You are over here, constantly looking over your shoulders, breaking your back, living in the shadow of the system, breaking immigration rules every freaking day. Right? And some people are sat back home, imposed themselves right bang in the middle of your wallet. They inserted themselves into your payroll. And you are here forming mommy and daddy. I don't know. My dad said by January of 2023, he gives me ultimatum. I need to start a building project. He has demanded for a minimum of 3-bedroom bungalow. Oh, I cannot make this up, man. So I said to her in the end, respectfully, I said, Madam, how old are you? She said, Phrankleen, I'm 38. Me, my young folk buying sorry. No, the winter will teach her a lesson. She's in the system. She knows about the winter. This is how bad some people have it. I know what you're saying. It's just that I can't, frankly, it's just that I can't get my, frankly, I know what you're saying. It's just to be able, I'm so tired. No, you're not tired. Go to buy that. The thing about my dad is, when I say, Dad, look, try to understand, he just shouts at me and he makes a demand. I don't know what to do. He has given me an ultimatum. I must start a building project. Oh. I'll ask him to get visa, come to the UK, come and collect the money for the building project. It's insane what people are going through. Yeah, share all day. It could be. Look, there are some that may be using diabolical means to control her, but there are some, no, they're not using diabolical. It's been ingrained from when they're growing up. Some of you are watching me right now. There was a guy that he said when he had some challenges here, he was trying to make some immigration applications. He desperately needed money because, you know, they'll ask you to have some money in the bank account and then you have to pay the home office fees, you know, the UK immigration department and all that. He said, Franklin, we were struggling, myself and my wife. Were broke. We had to make the application. And he said, I called my people back home and I begged them, please help me put together a bit of money. He said what we needed was like £580 to balance the money that we had on us. Guess what his father said to him? The father said, huh? So when you get the papers, are they going to put our names in the document? And this guy said, Franklin, I broke down in shock. That's his father. He said for a long time, they couldn't send them any money monthly because they were saving up for their immigration application, trying to adjust their status, understandably so. You must do it. And the father said, are they going to put my name in your immigration documents? Can you imagine? He has the ability to help his son. The son said, Dad, please put it down. I will pay it back once I've filed the application. You know, I'll be able to get over time. I will pay you back. They did not help him. Thankfully, he said, was this Seventh Day Adventist? They're like a charity body. I think it's a church, Seventh Day Adventist. So yeah, he attends their services and all that. So they were the ones that helped him. They were the ones that helped him with himself and the wife with the bit of money. There's like a vicar amongst a group of people that knows him, has known him for a few years. He went there to cry and they helped him with the amount of money that they needed to balance for their application, and then they filed it. Family. Eventually, thankfully, he got his papers. After going through ups and downs, he got his papers. And then he said when he got a better job, himself and the wife wanted to pay back the Seventh Day Adventist people, you know, the money that they gave them. They just said, don't worry about it, leave it. They didn't take it back from them. So they helped them. You understand? Imagine your own parents saying, I mean, bro, man. I have a friend in the US who does contributions, aka Osusu, yeah? She said it's like magic that anytime it gets to her turn, the money lands in her account, she immediately starts getting calls from Nigeria. This is why I say I say to people, especially for those of you that live in the West, that maybe you haven't gone home in a long time. You've lost knowledge of the only thing you know is whatever message you see. The people back home are wild, man. They would never, it's a code of conduct. They would never disclose. What's up, Lionel? They would never disclose their achievements and their building projects, the type of cars they drive. Only if you show up unannounced, you go to their homes, then you start to see what they are working with. I've seen several of them. You find somebody on WhatsApp telling you they're unable to pay their daughter's school fees. And then you show up to Nigeria, they didn't know you were coming home. And then, ta-da, You see this guy rolling up in the Range Rover or a 9 million naira car, a 10 million naira car. They have multiple streams of income. They've built their own bungalow, and you think, holy moly. And the only thing you've brought home is your half-baked British accent, your British passport and citizenship, and then you're there giving it all the wanna gonna. Now you're joking, man. One way street, self-service, no job. My immediate family don't disturb me. It's distant relatives that does. I had to uninstall Facebook and block, some of them. You gotta learn to just say no, man. Those that have ear, let them. No. Everybody here, Jabrila, you're correct. Everybody here have got set of eardrums. The problem is some people haven't got the balls, man. You're a grown man. Your dad is threatening you. If I don't have that money, I will cut you off from the family tree. Ha! Sir, would you mind me to buy you the scissors? And would you mind if the scissors came in golden color? What type of scissors color would you prefer to cut me off the family tree? Or do you like a chainsaw, please? Or would you? I don't mind cutting myself off, just helping you so you don't stress your wrist. Threatening me with cutting me out of the family tree. I'll do the cutting for you, man. So on a final note, there was a guy who built a 4-bedroom duplex very quietly in Lagos. Family didn't smell a rat. They weren't aware that when he started the project, he built it in less than 2 years. Lovely, visually appealing 4-bedroom duplex. Detached. Then he told his parents that, oh, mom and dad, ta-da, this is my my house. You expect them to go, boy, wow. Nope. He said they were colder than the middle of Antarctic Ocean. The body language was shocking. There was oh wow, I see. So when did you start the project? And they said, oh yeah, just less than 2 years ago. And you didn't deem it fit to let us know? He goes, no, nothing. There's nothing personal with that. I just wanted to keep the process to myself and let you know after completion. And the dad and mom refused to step foot in the property. He asked them to come over to come and say a word of prayer, Akmali. And they refused. They were furious. They were very dramatic. They were throwing tantrums, and they were like, never. We would never step a foot in that property. Oh, if you don't get your backside, step a foot. Who cares if you step a foot there, man? And the long and short of the whole display of getting emotionally animated and all that was they expected him to build for them first. Hell no. So till date, they refused to go to his house. You see what I'm saying? It's just pure selfishness. Yeah. Tosin Thompson, the respect for elders, man. What I like about being in diaspora, I have the willpower to ignore people, especially when I get back to Nigeria. I'm emotionless when it comes to my money. I like that. I'm emotionless. There's no sentiments. Learn to say no. Hey, we want a bag of rice. Hey, I'm going to buy you 2 Congos of rice because that's what I can afford. We want a bag of rice. Hey, 2 Congos of rice. Take it or leave it. Okay, we'll take it for now. I tell you what, you can forget about the 2 Congos of rice. How about that? because you're a jackass. You're a jackass. Learn to stand your ground. My brother-in-law was crying for money from my husband and I. We never gave. We showed up unannounced in Nigeria and found out he was building a new property. There you go. That's exactly what I've been saying. There are plenty of them like that. A lot of them even have multiple properties. Thank you for sharing that lady. You will be surprised. The same people that were telling you, oh, Buhari, this country, oh, you're suffering, oh, the pandemic, oh, blah, blah. Lies. You go home unannounced and catch them off guard. You will be shocked. Then you realize that you haven't done a thing for yourself, man. Nigeria. You don't have a goddamn idea. It's not a password for it. Anyway, that's me done. Partners, you should just work together, man. Unfortunately, on that side of relationships, sadly, there are people, and it tends to be a problem where people in relationships, husband or wife might be like, speak up, man. Speak your truth. Stop this from happening. And people can't basically say no to their sibling, like that woman's story, can't challenge a brother who was blatantly stealing from her. That this is the problem. So what do you do, man? Feel better now, Phrankleen. I feel as if you want to get off the couch. No, I'm all right, man. What do you think is wrong with me? I'm all right. Anyways, thank you very much. It's been an absolute pleasure. Follow me on Instagram at Phrankleen, as it's spelled on this channel. Yeah. If you haven't, smash the subscribe button, okay? Show your love, man. Smash that like button. Feel free to look through the rest of my videos. Thank you very much for your eyeballs and for your eardrums. I appreciate it, man. Myself and younger sister stand our ground never to build house for my mom. She's desperately forcing us, which she know we won't do it because she has sons that can do that for her. Imagine. It's been a pleasure, man. Please send me your stories, man. I know there's no way I don't have PTSD, man. You don't understand, man. That's the essence of emancipating people. All right. I can give you stories and of course, if you get stories of how maybe I moved from diaspora to Nigeria, I went with 25,000 pounds, I built this business, I'm doing this. We'll share that with you, man. But most content creators don't talk about is the dark side of the Black community. And it's affecting a lot of people. All this toxic culture. This is why I keep shouting. Toxic culture is not African culture. Your father stole your 5,000 pounds. You are asked not to challenge him. In fact, in some settings, they will ask you to apologize to him because when you exploded over the phone, they regard it as being rude because you shouted at your father that stole 5,000 pounds from you. They will ask you to ask for his forgiveness so that you can live long. Your pastor would also say, yeah, the Bible says, meh, 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 meh. Lies. You have all there's some of you watching this right now. They will find ways to say, yeah, but yeah, he's your dad. Bro, how much is 5,000 pounds? Tell me about it, you're still gonna make more. Just tell him you're sorry. Just let it go. And then you'll be like, for people like us, we are warlords. We don't take crap. We'll fight back. They will call somebody like me rebellious. They will say you are aggressive and intimidating towards the older one. Hell no! If you steal £5,000 from me, I'm coming after you, all your balls, everything, man. I will take my money, man. I can tell I can tell rubbish. Geez, I walked out of my house in Nigeria because I could care less about psychological oppression. Today, they're asking for forgiveness 4 years later. Thank you, man. I'll catch you in the very next one, man. Peace and love.